Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining another fantastic edition of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. It's your boy Gio here, and I am joined by the Omnibus Collector himself, building one omnibus at a time. How you doing, brother?
I actually this time built two omnibus at a time.
Let's freaking go. I love that. Tonight we got I have a haul. Hauls. We got reviews, we got solicits, we got new manga that are coming out, we have show reviews. We haven't done that in a minute. And of course, we got the live chat. We got a whole bunch of goofs and gaffs. So stay tuned. Gonna have a fun time here. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor making tonight's broadcast happen. And that is, of course, InStockTrades.com, your home for collected editions. You get your omnibus, trade paperback, hardcovers, manga, and so much more at great discounted prices. Free shipping in the US at orders that start at $50 or more. And of course, there's a loyalty discount, which adds an extra 2% off to your book orders if you make them on a weekly basis. Great packaging, wonderful customer service. That and more when you visit InStockTrades.com. Let's go to the website real quick to show you what's happening down there. We got
the most important thing that's happening at IST right now is, and hopefully this is not just a 1 week thing or a 2 week thing, but they finally got Viz and Yen stuff back in the store on time.
Oh yeah.
I just went through today. I know it's 2 days late, but I just went through the new releases and like put all of my books into the wish list, so I can pick them up. And I was going through and I was like, Akira Failing in Love, that actually is new. That came out this week. And then I compared my list to what they had, and they had every single thing that I needed except for Tune Into the Midnight Heart Volume 6, which is a Kodansha title.
There you go. So shout out In Stock Trades, catching up with the Biz and gang. That's awesome. You got your current deals of the week, which do include a manga deal of the week, Initial D Omnibus, Volume 9. And there are a bunch of sales happening. Of course, your clearances, damages, red tags. You got a 24-hour flash sale. This one goes to Far Down Below from Mad Cave Studios, which I hear is pretty good. And there are some spotlight sales on Star Trek, Disney, Sailor Moon, Michael Moorcock, and a Women of DC sale. The Sailor Moon one is pretty cool. Everything is here in stock, so if you want to grab it, now it's a good chance to do so. 40% off on these titles. And don't be like me and get the Sailor Moon Kotake Uchi collection. Get the big ones, the Eternal editions. Your eyes will thank you. And then, what was the other thing that I want to highlight? The Women of DC sale is also happening. Some pretty interesting titles here as well. So, yeah, go check them out. InStockTrades.com. We love them. Shout out. I see. Oh, and I should point out that we will be doing the gift card giveaway. That is a monthly tradition. So, tune into the last Monday for a shot at winning a $50 gift card, courtesy of InStockTrades.com. All righty. Let's see. We got a lot of people in the chat typing. Good evening, y'all. Wow, season 2 already is out. Yeah, One Piece season 2. We're gonna do a review of it, or actually, Riley's gonna review it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the season 1, so I don't know. But I am interested in asking you a couple of questions from things I've seen online, and to get your take on it. And we got some solicits, and I read a new manga from Manga Plus, which I wanted to talk about because it's really goofy and silly, and I think it might be worth people's time. We'll see what happens with chapter 2 when that drops, but for the first one, I enjoyed it. Josh needs to start season 2. Yeah, go watch it. I want to actually watch. Is the problem? You want to watch us? Thank you.
It's funny to say, like, wow, season 2 already, considering it was like a 3-year break between season 1 and season 2.
I feel like season 1 just yeah, it's been a minute. I remember when season 1 came out, everybody was excited.
I think it was later in 2023, so about maybe 2.5 years.
Hobby, thank you for joining. Hey y'all. Everything's okay. Sorry about that. Wow, they are late. Thank you, Josh.
I mean, we were on time. Y'all just weren't invited to the show.
Right. Slowpokes. Hey, Slowpoke is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. So
It was
thank you.
August. So season 1 was August 31st of 2023. So it's been about 2.5 years before season 2 happened, and they've already started work on season 3. So there's no like, it's not going to be as large of a gap between those seasons. But if they do happen to continue beyond Alabasta, which there's no word yet if it's going to be renewed again for season 4, if they continue on into season 4, they're going to have to speed up the production because there's no way. Like,
Right. Yeah. There's only so much that you can do with a TV show because these productions take time, money, and effort. So
I did some rough math, and I calculated that if they continue at roughly the same pace as far as like covering material within the episodes of the live action, and if every season continues to be 8 episodes of 8-hour long ish episodes, it would take them at least 16 seasons to do everything.
ain't no way that show's lasting 16 seasons.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I really doubt that they're gonna do it. Like, I think that if anything, if they do want to keep going and try to do some kind of adaptation of the entirety of the series, they're going to have to speed it along. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's already like moving at such a brisk pace, but like the pace they're moving right now is about 1 volume per episode, which is not that much faster than like the anime. Like, if you take 3 episodes of anime and shove that together, it's about the same length as 1 episode of the live action. And early anime, the pacing was better. Late anime is like 1 episode per chapter. And of course that's where they're really going to have to speed the pacing and stuff up for live action. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's it's not up to us. It's up to time. It's up to Netflix, I guess.
Yeah. But before we continue with the One Piece talk, let me highlight some comments here. We're both in trouble. Okay, sorry, I did not know about that. You're being written up for being late. I am sorry you forced our hand. Oh well.
Like I said, we were on time. This was a situation like where the teacher was late, and the students were waiting for the teacher. Like,
exactly,
we were waiting for y'all to get into the lot. We were already talking before y'all. We've been here since on the dot 7:30.
Double write up. I don't know. We'll take it up with Jess. He'll work that out.
Man, one more write up and you're fired, Josh.
I think season 3 could be fun. You know what they need to do? They need to do the James Cameron Avatar method and just film a bunch of shit and then cut it up and make seasons out of episodes, if that makes sense. Like, just record like 20 of them in one go, and then work on them and release them in chunks and say, oh, season 3, season 4, season 5. That's what I would do.
I think if we're talking about the future of it and season 3, I'm going to say what I've said to like everyone I've talked to about this before, talking to Carly about it, and then also our friends Fatima, who we have like a little One Piece chat Discord with, and we were talking about when. What I've said to all of them is, I really hope that Alabasta itself is not longer than 4 episodes. At the absolute max, it cannot be longer than 6. And if they have another 8 episode season, then I agree. Like if it's 6 episodes, the last 2 need to be the last 2 need to be Jaya and like all the wrap up stuff where you basically meeting the Shichibukai, the warlords, and spend time like with that stuff, and then basically at the very least have them going to Skypiea by the end of the season.
Right.
That's if they are going to continue into Skypiea, that's the way that I picture that it should be.
One episode of Alabasta, please.
That's Carly. She's the like certified Alabasta hater.
Awesome.
Not really a hater. Like she just, when we watched the anime, and I've said this before, but like I've been reading One Piece for, gosh, close to 25 years now. And I'd never watched the anime. Like I only watched like pieces of it here and there. And so we sat down and watched the anime all the way through. And when we were in Alabasta, she was like, man, I feel like we've been here for so freaking long. And it's only like, in retrospect, it's only 39 episodes. It's not that long when you compare it to like so much of what comes after. And it's like, I felt that way too. Like whenever I was watching the anime, when I read the manga, it was fine. But when I watched the anime, I was like, why do I feel like we're here for so long? Like, it doesn't seem like it needs to be. And that's a lot of the stuff that like I kind of respect of what they're doing with the live action, is like a lot of the parts where I'm like, this didn't need to be that long. They do condense it down in a decent way. And so it makes it fun. It's a fun little condensed product. It's not perfect, but if it was 1-to-1, I don't care. I really, when we were watching it, Carly was like, do you think that they're going to change shit up and make Vivi join the crew? And I was like, they better not. They better keep her the fuck away. Keep her in Alabasta when they leave. Because if she goes along with them, we're going to have some words. I'm going to give Oda a phone call, doing a piece of my mind. He's going to be like, I didn't do this. I was like, I don't care, man.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. One Piece talk. Try at least for a couple minutes to keep it spoiler free. But what were your thoughts on it? Overall impressions, all that stuff. You know what to do. I haven't seen it, unfortunately, gang.
Yeah,
so
and you haven't seen the first season either, so it's but I'm first season covered up through the East Blue. The second season picks up with them going to Logtown. So technically the last small arc of the East Blue saga. We spend one episode in Logtown. This is not really spoilers because you can see the episode count. You know that the season was ending where it was ending if you paid attention to anything that they were talking about with this. So anyway, first episode was Logtown. Second episode is Reverse Mountain, so that means you get Laboon. The third episode was Whiskey Peak, and then they spend 2 episodes in Little Garden and 3 episodes in Drum Island, which is the longest that they've spent in a certain locale through the entire first 2 seasons. So,
right.
And I think that if they spend more than 4 episodes in Alabasta, I feel like new audiences are going to have gripes with that, which it's so hard for me to like say that with a serious face, because if they were to adapt things anywhere close to this pace later on, they would need like 16 episodes for Wano alone. Like, so it's funny to say like people are going to lose patience with 4 episodes, whatever. I just don't think that they need to spend that much more time there. Anyway, I digress. It continues, I don't think anyone got recast between the 2 seasons, so we have all the same actors have come back. We have, the same people that had increased parts, like Garp was in season 1, even though he's not introduced in the series until much later on. He's back. He's got some small parts along with Kobe and Helmeppo in there. So everyone's the same. If you liked or disliked people from the first live action season, you're probably going to feel the same way. Like everyone's doing about the same that they were doing before. No one's doing anything like significantly different to the point that like you might change your opinion on them. I don't think. I think that standout for me, I really, really love Jacob Romero, who does does Usopp. Jacob Romero Gibson. Sorry, I had to double check his name. So I think he's a huge standout in the cast, and part of that standout is because not only is he doing a good job playing the character, but they're allowing him to kind of stretch his own legs and be his own version of Usopp while not straying away from anything that Usopp was. But I want to make assumptions that he's doing a lot of just kind of doing his own thing and improvisation with certain lines and reactions and stuff like that. And if you've seen any of the promotional material and just interviews and videos of the main cast together, like they definitely like have a good chemistry. And so it does seem like the type of thing where someone like Jacob could work with that real life chemistry to just increase the way that the character is played. I think that Emily Rudd is also really strong as Nami. She's not, one for one with just like with Usopp. Like Emily's not one for one with how Nami is in the series, but I think that she plays the character in a way that really works for this version of the story. Everyone else still does about what they did in the first season. Those are just the ones that I think stand out the most. And the new characters, I will say that I was critical about Chopper before, because when we first heard and this is not even about the appearance. I'll talk about the appearance after that.
Okay, I was wondering.
This isn't about the appearance of him, but the voice at first, like hearing the first little tease of Michaela Hoover's voice for Chopper, I've talked about this on the show before, she sounded like she was doing the sexy baby voice, which she did as a character in How I Met Your Mother, where Barney was with this girl that like was treating him like a baby, like, and that it was the same exact voice. Like she was doing the sexy baby, which the term is coined by Kristen Milioti from an episode of 30 Rock, where she's like, "I am a sexy baby." Like that's where we pull from. And so it sounded, the first line that you hear in like the teasers was "Are you okay?" or whatever. "Are you feeling better?" I think is actually what it was.
Right.
Where Chopper is asking Nami because she's sick. And it, like, that one line was awful and deceptive, because her voice as Chopper in the rest of the episodes in Drum Island is fine. It's good. Like I would say she does a really good job of having a voice that I can believe is kind of a somewhat gruff because it's an animal, but youthful because he's a teenager. Like that's the voice, and it sounds good. Her performance is good. It's just literally that one line was probably the only one that I had an issue with. But I have other issues with Chopper. It's not even about his main appearance. Like the thing that bothers me about his hybrid appearance is the human teeth. Like he has the too perfect of human teeth. They're too close to the lips, so it's like whenever the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies came out, their teeth are so prominent. He has these huge white chompers, and it's like uncanny and it's weird. And like if that was toned back, I think that it would be completely fine. But I got used to that. And you're not always staring, like they do a lot of like close-up shots, but you're not always watching just Chopper's mouth. So it's not like a big deal after you get used to that, whatever. But I'll come back to the other parts, because the other parts I want to talk about with Chopper are a little bit more spoilery. The the other big characters that they introduce, of course, you have Nico Robin. Miss All Sunday is there, and they do have her featured a decent amount, even though she doesn't have like any major parts until Alabasta. She does get to appear a decent amount. She does get to interact with the characters, and I think she's really good as Nico Robin. They portrayed her powers really interestingly. The effects are about as good as you would expect from a Netflix series. But they don't hold back on like how violent she is with her devil fruit power. She didn't do clutch. That small spoiler, I guess. I don't recall her ever doing the clutch move where she breaks their neck basically. But the first episode pretty much starts off with a scene with her. So it's like the showrunners and stuff knew like, all right, people want to see Nico Robin, and they were right. I was the people. And then of course there's tons of other characters that are introduced here because you have we're now in the Baroque Works saga. So you have a lot of the Baroque Works agents are introduced in this season. We got to see Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week. We got Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine's Day. 7 was already dispatched by Zoro in the first season, which was a scene that you don't get to see in the anime and manga. We get small spoilers. They add in Miss Thursday, who is partnered with Mr. 11, which we do see in the manga, but we don't see, like, I don't believe we see his fight. So they expanded a little bit on that. And they had some other people in there, but those are the main ones. And mostly I would say they did well. Their performances are solid. I don't think I had an issue with any individual performance, any of the characters. Vivi and Igaram as well, Mr. 8. I forgot to mention them because I'm just not even thinking about them. That is a spoiler. I was going to mention that in a little bit.
Okay. Spoilers.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
Everyone's good, but the one issue that I did have, and I feel like it was specifically with a lot of the Baroque's Works agents, is a lot of their costumes looked like cheap cosplay. And I don't mean like, oh, it looks like cosplay as if that's derogatory. It looks like if you were to just order a costume off of Amazon, like the cheapest version of a costume that you can find off of Amazon, that's what some of the costumes look like. Some of them, not all of them. Miss Valentine's Day's first costume looks like that. It's like the cheap material. They don't seem like they fit correctly. And my thought was maybe the problem was they were trying too hard to be accurate to the page, accurate to the manga and to the anime, basically, and not giving any wiggle room for live action interpretation. And that kind of caused for several of their costumes to look cheesier than everyone else. Whereas in cast and crew, they're constantly looking good because they're interpreting their clothing and several different outfits for each of them, because they pull outfits from like the chapter covers and stuff like that, which is really fun. But they do a little bit more interpretation to make something that looks good on screen for a live action. And I feel like in some cases they didn't do that with some of the Baroque Works costumes. The other one of which
Spirit Halloween level of costumes.
Right, exactly. Like that's probably the better association. I think it's Miss Monday.
I'm looking at some of the pictures online for these costumes, and they do look pretty goofy, not gonna lie.
Miss Monday's if you look up Miss Monday live action, her costume also has that same level, the Spirit Halloween level. And she's also her performance is fine. I don't have any issues with the way that the actress performed her role. But Miss Monday's like main thing about her is that she's huge. Like she's a massive bodybuilder,
Right. Yeah.
massive muscles. She's tall, and they got someone who was very like lean muscle, short to play the part. And I was like, that's weird. Like when literally all you had to do, the casting call should have gone out for a bodybuilder, like a female bodybuilder. That's like what the casting call would have been. That was probably my one big miscast gripe. I believe was that one. Everyone else I think was fine. I think Smoker was a little bit off, but for me mostly it was if they fixed his hair, I would have been fine with it. But his wig, a lot of the wigs don't look great, especially when the hair is pushed back, which is often because they're not very good at blending the wig with like their scalp and stuff. And I feel like there was a joke about like costume budget in the show. I forget exactly when they said that, but I felt like that might have been a slight at themselves being like, yeah, this isn't great. But like some of the wigs were good, a lot of them were not. And I think that Smokers was one of the bad ones. It looked like he had way too much hair, and I think that the solution would have been either he should have just had his hair dyed, even if just with a temporary dye, and use his actual hair, or he should have put it all in and shaved his head, and then put a skull, like have the actual wig on without being on top of his hair. But I digress. There are some things that get removed from the episodes. There's like a fight gets limited, consider, or two big fights kind of get limited in scope and the way that things happen. I wasn't too put off by it. It's not to the same degree as like season 1 just completely removing Don Krieg, which I know that Don Krieg has not come up in the series again, so they can make the argument that it wasn't like super important for him to be there, but it's not to that level. So I wasn't that put off by it. I think overall it was solid. It was a solid time. I'm not expecting the world from a live action adaptation of One Piece. When I go into this, I am just going in as someone who like has been a incredibly massive fan of One Piece for the majority of my life, and I love the series, and just I kind of take it the same way as I take the movies. Like a lot of the movies aren't great, but it's more material for me to enjoy, and it's very clear that like the people involved here, they care about the series. They're largely fans. They respect it. They care about it.
Mhm.
And even though it's not perfect, and even though it's really campy at times and really cheesy, and like not everyone's acting is great, um, I respect it, and I just am able to sit back and kick my legs up and have fun watching people have fun. Is the way that I feel, and it's always great to hear about where what it's great to see like these
Yeah.
new interpretations of these characters.
Jaime brings a
I
point
can
about
hate, like if something doesn't look like that's like if I can give someone like points for effort for sure, but like if it doesn't come out right, like I'm not going to just bend a knee and be like, okay, that's fine. Like you did your best. I think like yeah, I'm sure they do put a lot of thought and work into it, but like if it doesn't come out in the end, if the end product doesn't show that, I think it would be unfair for someone to not call it out. Like it would be unfair for me to sit here and talk to you about like everything that looked great and then to not call out the few times when the costumes didn't look great.
right.
It would be it's unfair, but it would also be disrespectful to not call that out. If that is your craft, like, just as someone who went like to a fine arts school, like if I'm presenting something and my classmates and my teachers and instructors and stuff were not calling out things that didn't look good, they're not giving me that constructive criticism that I needed to succeed, then that's a fault on them for not doing that. Like, it wouldn't be insulting of them to tell me like, "Hey, I get what you were going for, but it didn't work out, and I think that this is what you could do to do better." And in this case, like, I'm doing this, like, I get what you're going for, but these certain things didn't look good. And I think to make it better, you have so much evidence of all these other costumes that you did. My main thing is, like, in a couple of those costumes, just the fabric looking cheap and shoddy and the fit not being correct. And if you fix those things and you've already shown that you have the ability to do it better in all these other places, then that's fine. And I only say it because I have respect for what they're doing. So I'm not going to hold back on criticisms just for the sake of, like, knowing that they tried, basically.
Yeah, there you go. Most of the costume work is so good, you could just tell a couple of the Baroque works costumes didn't fit quite right and maybe didn't translate to live action well.
I think one of the big things that we noted specifically was, while Miss Valentine's Day's first costume was bad, her second costume was fantastic. She has like a yellow overcoat and stuff, and it was like spot on. And it looked good. It looked good in the real world. It looked good on her. It fit correctly. Everything was good on that one. It was, the opposite on the first one.
Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
The second, or not the second, the first costume for Mr. Five, for instance, when he showed up, I was like, holy crap, like, he looks like perfect. They show up on screen and I thought he looked incredible.
Haven't gotten to Drum Island yet, but I still stand by my idea that they should have made him Chopper, stop motion, and overlay him like Space Jam.
I think it's time for spoilers now, but now talking about Chopper. So if you haven't if you have not seen Drum Island episodes, and you don't want to know anything about it, I'm gonna talk about the biggest. I'm gonna give the biggest compliment I can, though, to Wapple, because he looked fantastic. I think that every aspect of him, with especially using his abilities, looked amazing. I think a lot of it seemed like they used practical effects and puppetry and stuff to create like the effects of his stuff. They probably did put some CG in there too, but a lot of it just looked really, really good. And it had to have been practical given how Luffy was interacting and like other people were interacting with him. But anyway, the part that I had probably the biggest problem with was human Chopper looks insane. Like, there was a meme that was floating around whenever people were like, how are they going to adapt Chopper? And it was like, are they going to do it like this? Are going to do it like this? Are going to do it like this? And
is there a picture of it? I need to see this. Hold on.
It looks like in that meme, one of the options was, because it was like, are they going to do it like Detective Pikachu? Are they going to do it like a claymation? Are they going to do it like whatever? And one of the options was The Rock wearing makeup and a hat. And it's that. It's literally, it looks like that. And it's so uncanny and disturbing. And immediately I was like, you know what? I understand people for being scared of this guy. I understand why they were trying to kill him when he's in this form. He's fucking hideous. He's so scary. And he has this weird, like, layered voice with like Michaela Hoover's voice, but then there's like I think another, like, a deeper voice underneath it. But so you're seeing this big, like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson in makeup with like a fursuit on and the hat with Michaela Hoover's voice. And she did the ADR to like match his mouth flapping and stuff. So you just have this big grown ass man with the little voice, which obviously, like, that's how they have it in the dub of the anime. So yeah, but it just looks so disturbing. It's so bad, and I'm like increasingly upset because like I know how much time we're going to have to spend with human Chopper, and I'm like, I really hope they do something to make this better, because it's a really cheap looking fursuit also, with like really bad looking boots and
Oh my
stuff.
god, I need to see this. I can't find pictures.
Because it's bad. It's really, really bad. Like it's like a Chuck E. Cheese costume, dude. Like
Oh
with
my
the
god.
taken off. It's so bad. And the fight scenes, like whereas everyone else's choreography is good, everyone else is fine, and you have like this guy who's obviously struggling to move around in a giant fursuit. Like they, it's only in the last, I think only in the last episode of the season do we see that like in that mode. It might maybe in the episode prior as well, and it's, but they show like every moment that he's on screen, it was like a jump scare. Like he'd pop up and I'm like, what the fuck? Get this thing off of my screen. Like it's scarier than most of the movies I've watched in the past few years.
Oh, I found it. Oh, what am I looking at?
I hate it. I really, really hate it. Like
Wow.
it's I hate, I don't know. I hate is the only word, and I don't.
Bro, this is like some
hate it.
Grinch level work here.
But it's like someone wanted to do the Grinch, but they were doing like the amusement park version of someone who put on Grinch makeup. It's so bad. I absolutely hate it. I can't think of anything else to say except that I hate it. I'm sorry to everyone that like thought that was good, but y'all need to take that one back to the drawing board. I hope that season 3 does it better. I hope that if they keep going after season 3, they really make it better. And I'm also fearful of what all his other like points are going to look like the arm point, horn point, all that stuff. Like, because hybrid mode and deer mode are fine. They look good. I think that they look good. But that mode, no.
Yeah. I'm reading some comments here. I want your take on it. Somebody said it's fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine. It's his ugliest form anyway.
No, it's not.
Somebody said
Monster Point is going to be his ugliest form.
Somebody said looks 1,000 better than normal live action Chopper. I don't know.
No.
Somebody said it should look strange. Chopper's hybrid appearance is supposed to look monstrous and uncanny. That's his whole shtick and the reason why he got shot on sight. If he looked cool, he undermined his whole backstory.
I don't think that it needs to look cool. And that's why I was saying, like, immediately my first reaction was, I understand why people shot him. He looks insane. But it should look better. I'm not saying it needs to look cooler or it needs to look nicer. I think it needs to look like a higher quality costume.
Can you smell what the chopper's cooking? Hell yeah. Question: why am I seeing a photo? You know what he reminds me of? X-Men 1 Sabretooth.
Which also is pretty bad.
Yeah. I never liked that Sabretooth at all. Why are his teeth dirty in the picture that I'm looking at? What's happening here?
Why can't they choose one direction? Like the other versions of Chopper have the whitest teeth that you've ever seen, and then this version of Chopper has gross yellow teeth. Like why does that change? I don't know. Like did they originally give him the veneers and then they were like, okay, that's too much, and then they took those
face. The face reminds me of the original Jumanji when the boy cheats and turns into the monkey boy.
It sucks, dude. I'm sorry. I hate that shit. Like, it looks bad. That is the one. I will not defend that. Anything else in that series, I'm like, okay, fine. Whatever.
If that is not Michaela Hoover in a muscle suit, I don't want it, somebody said.
She's so tiny, too. Like, that'd be really funny. But anyway, I hated that. That was the worst part of the whole thing. It's
Chopper needs the live action Sonic treatment. Nice.
Yeah, they need to go back and make a brand new version of it. Take that shit out of there.
So What can I take the spoiler tag off? Let me take this off.
Oh, the other things to talk about that I mentioned, spoilers, was there are a lot. They did this in season 1 where they introduced characters, concepts, etc. early. And they did a lot of that again in season 2. None of it ever feels like they shoved something in just for the sake of it. Sometimes it's just a small Easter egg. Sometimes it's something a lot bigger. And obviously, it's always stuff that like we find out certain things way later in the story that relate back to earlier points, and they are utilizing that. So like the biggest thing, as someone already commented, was they introduced the character of Bartolomeo in the Logtown episode. And Bartolomeo doesn't get introduced until way later in Dressrosa. And he is introduced as he's a character who basically he's like Luffy's biggest fan. He would do anything for Luffy and for the Straw Hat crew. He loves Luffy, and you learn like the reason why is because he witnessed the scene in Logtown when Luffy is about to get executed, and then like he was inspired by that whole thing happening. And so they show you Barto appears in that episode to be like, hey, remember that thing that was written significantly later, a character that we said existed here? Well, now we're going to put him here. So I was like, oh, cool. Like they're inserting that. I had no problem with that whatsoever. I did not expect him to be such a major part of the episode because obviously, since we never had heard about him until much later in the series, he didn't interact with Luffy in like the manga or the anime. He just saw what happened.
Yeah.
But they have him on interact with Luffy and interact with everything that was going on, for better or for worse. I think that it does better to show you like, okay, he actually did spend time getting to know Luffy, and then by the time everything happens, it makes sense why he would feel so inspired by someone. Like he got to witness this guy firsthand and see who he is and be like, I want to follow this guy to the ends of the earth. I think that they did well to do that. The guy that played him pretty well. I think they should have brought his hairline down a little bit. Like he had a worse hairline than I do. And
I just saw a picture of it. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's because of all the prosthetics. Because that character has a very like pronounced brow ridge, and so they have to add that on. And then because of that, they pushed the hairline back, and he does have like, I think he has a little bit of a widow's peak in the manga and anime, but they pushed it back way too far. And that's the only part that kind of looked goofy about it to me. But everything else about Barto in the series, I think the actor did a great job. I think like he didn't try to force himself to do the exact same voice that Barto has in the anime. So that was fun. He did his own thing. And I did like it. I liked the interaction with like Barto and Buggy. Was fun to see, like Luffy's #1 fan meeting Luffy's #1 hater. Was cool. That was probably the biggest thing that they brought. There was also there's in that first episode, Dragon shows up to save Luffy from Smoker, as does happen in the anime and the manga. And then he goes back to his ship and he's kind of monologuing on the ship, and they show him with this like quick scene, and then he moves and it like the cabin door opens and Sabo shows up, who also doesn't appear until Dressrosa, which was really funny because Carly and I have an ongoing joke where we say like, and Sabo was there like anytime, because that's like whenever they introduced Sabo in the series, it really felt that way. Like they were trying to insert him back into older moments, like specifically when like Ace and Luffy were kids. And so we would always joke around and be like, and Sabo was there, and Sabo was there. And so it's been like a running like inside joke with us to just always, every time Sabo appears, even though it's not like anything about like their past, we just go, and Sabo was there. And so when he showed up on the screen, I was like, and Sabo was there. It's just the bit, but he was goofy looking. You can barely see him, but like, they just got some random guy to do it. Like they didn't actually like cast who they're going to cast. So he just pops in. It's just some dude with like blonde hair and a big ass top hat. And he just kind of looks goofy standing there for a second. But it was fun. It's fun to see that. They also mention like God Valley gets mentioned extremely early. They tease Gold Roger having a son. They're very clearly trying to make you think that Luffy is Roger's son. So we'll see what happens with that. But obviously, that's not the case. If you're familiar with the series, spoilers, you know that Ace is Roger's son. And so that's what they were talking about. They mention that Gold Roger's name is actually Gold D Roger. All of these things don't come up until much later. And then on I think in Logtown there's a sign on one of the buildings is called Figureland something. Figureland being Shanks's family name. And you don't learn that until like technically One Piece Film Red was the first time they showed Shanks's last name, his family name. And then on what's it called? Little Garden, you have Dory was whittling little wooden figures that are the size of like statues next to the characters. So like Luffy is standing on the table talking to Dory the giant, and there are 3 wooden figures. One of them is very clearly meant to be Nika. One of them is Brogy, which I thought was really cute because Dory is just whittling a figure of his best friend Brogy, and then the third one is Loki, but Loki's first appearance, like before he actually gets introduced during Elbaf, because his very first appearance was, I believe, in the flashback when they were talking about what's her name, Charlotte Chiffon, was it? Or no, not Chiffon's Beji's Chiffon's sister, Lola. When I think it was meeting, it was the flashback about Lola and Loki asking Lola to marry him, and he looks like this like silhouette of a frog, and so they made the little figure look like that. It looked like that silhouette of a frog, which is funny because we've seen Loki now, and they could have done a full Loki reveal if they wanted to, but they kept it minimal. I know there are other things. I'm just forgetting off the top of my head everything. And the things that they took out, they don't have Mr. 3 wearing the giant wax armor in his fight with Luffy, which I thought worked out fine because it was kind of like Luffy gets to do a little bit more brain battle. Like he has to actually think about something for a second instead of just smash.
That's a question for you. The Goldie Roger first shows up with Kureha in the manga. I thought that's when the Will of D first gets brought up. So I thought that was right. I
don't think they say Gold D at that point. I mean, it's been a minute, but
sorry, I'm useless. I mean, I read some One Piece, but I don't remember much. Lola, was she a dancer? Let me know.
Yes.
Nice.
I guess so. I don't remember her saying that, but it felt early, but I guess not. So that one, never mind on that one, but they do talk about Goldie, Roger, and the Will of D, and that's one of the last parts of the last episode before they do a little stinger where they show Joe Manganiello as Crocodile for the first time, who I think has the same exact problem as Smoker, where they gave him too much hair. Like, I know that he's supposed to have kind of longer hair, but there's too much of it. They needed to fix that wig a little bit. But other than that, I thought he looked fine. I think it'll be fun to see what happens. There are also little Easter eggs that they throw in there, like I think it was Hirolook that was whistling the Bokuwa Doctor song. The Bokuwa Doctor, Tony. He's whistling that like in the flashback scene for Chopper's origin. And then whenever Sanji fights Mr. 13, the otter, the hold tone on the transponder snail was the second theme song for the anime.
Oh, really? Cool. Nice.
So fun little Easter eggs like that. There's probably more stuff that I missed, more stuff that I forgot to mention, but those are, I guess, the spoilers. I don't remember if there's anything else I really wanted to cover, but I think overall, like, if you watched the first series and you enjoyed it, you'll wind up enjoying the second one as well. It's not a perfect product. It's not, obviously not one for one, but I think it's silly, goofy fun. And they huge thing that I forgot. Sorry, I don't think this counts as a spoiler because they showed it a lot. But Brooke is in the flashback for Laboon, and the funny part was a lot of people showed like their lack of like One Piece knowledge on Twitter, because there was a lot of people like, why are they showing Brooke this early? And obviously, like, it was because Brooke's story connects back to Laboon, and so they're throwing that in there a little bit early. I really liked the way that they portrayed him. I thought it was really good. I think that he looked good. I think he played the brief part really well, and I'm hoping that we get to see him again later.
Nice.
And that's the final word.
Hell yeah. So what would you rate season 2 out of whatever you want to rate it? Let's do 5 stars. How many stars out of 5?
5 stars, probably like, I'd give it a strong 4, like an 8 out of 10. It's like a B, a solid B to me. But, taking that with the grain of salt that, like, I'm approaching it as something that I don't think has to be great. Wow. I had an 8 out of 10 time with it because I'm going in expecting a silly, goofy time with some silly, goofy things, and I'm going in expecting camp, and I'm going in expecting like that type of thing. If you're going in expecting, absolute cinema, it's not going to measure up, but it's fun. It's a good time, and I think that this series is doing exactly what the point of it was, which is to engage a new audience that has not previously engaged with this franchise. And it has worked. I think Carly is a perfect example. Like, she first was exposed by season 1, and she immediately was like, I want more. I want to watch the series from episode 1, go all the way through. And she did. Right. So I think that it's doing its job, and I commend it for that. And I really do hope they continue going with this, because I'd love to see how they interpret a lot of other stuff, and I'd love to see the different Easter eggs and things that they can throw in there for fun.
Will Eminem show up? That's what I want to know.
I think that if they do anything other than that, it'll be miscast.
If they don't, yeah,
it'll be very miscast if they choose anyone but Eminem for an L.
Alrighty, so that was the One Piece review. Thank you, Riley. Appreciate it. Let me take this off.
I took a lot of time out of our show tonight.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. What else we got? Briefly, I picked up my copy of Nezumi's First Love.
Hey.
So I was wanting to wait, and then I kind of FOMO'd myself. I'm like, I need to get it now because it's popular for some reason, and I was afraid it wasn't going to sold out, but I got it anyways.
You saw all the posts about The Weeknd loving it.
I know he's one of my favorite artists, and I'm like, man, a lot of fans that don't know anything about this are going to pick up the book. That was my thought. So I don't want to be missing out because of laziness. So I picked up volume 1, and I got this today. And what was funny to me and kind of bizarre is that over in Japan, they released a new version of volume 1, has a different cover, if I remember correctly, but it has an obi with the weekend and the whole promotion thing and the endorsement of the series, which I thought was hilarious. So if you're a mega fan of this series, I guess that's one variant to collect for the manga.
They did that for the English version.
Oh no, for the Japanese version. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy crap!
No. Let me see if I can find it
US.
again. I did like it on Twitter, so it should be on my likes. Anyways, yeah, they did that. I hauled some other books, but they did not arrive in time. Sorry about that. I'll show them off later. I do have a haul video coming out for the winter haul of 2026, so look forward to that. Did you haul anything by any chance? Anything nearby that you can show?
I built 2 Omnis.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I have a story to go. You're using the one that has stories about difficulty with getting packages and stuff. And this is not really the same, but it is something. So the one of the 2 books that I finally got Animal Man by Jeff Lemire back in the collection.
Ooh, let's go.
Animal Man by Morrison is my favorite comic of all time. I love the character in general. I'm so happy to have this back in the collection. Anyway, so this was a whole thing because after the whole theft, the burglary happened, and everything got taken, and I reassessed what was missing. I think the first person that did anything to try and help was one of our viewers, Babylon Shadows, who's also in your Discord. And so he sent me IST gift card, and I used that immediately to order the first the Morrison Animal Man and the Lemire Animal Man Omnis from IST. I love IST, and I love them for a lot of things. They are by and far my favorite store to order from for a lot of reasons, and that's why we're really I'm happy that we were able to keep them as a sponsor for this channel and stuff, because it's not for no reason. It's with good reason that we want to talk about them, and I want to talk about them. But the one thing that I really wish that they would fix is the issue, and it's a big thing, is the issue with stock and when you order something and they take forever, and then all of a sudden a week later they're like, hey, actually we don't have this, and it's no longer available to distributor. And sometimes when they say that, it's not entirely true. They say, hey, we don't have this at the distributor, but if you wait a little bit longer, it'll come back. And you'll know that when that's the case, because if you go to the website, usually the item is still available. They just won't even take it down. So if you wait a few more days, they'll get copies and then they'll fill your order. This was not one of those cases. And I found out that it was true that the Animal Man Jeff Lemire Omnibus was no longer available. There was no news about it coming back into print. And I was like, well, shit. So I used the rest of the gift card for some new manga releases. And I was like, okay, well, I will get this later. And I kept looking online at eBay and stuff to see if someone had it up there for a good price. Most of them were cover or more, or somewhere close to cover. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That sucks. I don't want to spend $100 on a $100 book when I think recently shifted to being no longer available. So I waited, and then I saw someone had it available at eBay, on eBay for $75 or something. And I was like, okay, this is the best price that I've seen. I'm going to go ahead and get it. And so, it was 80 something after tax and shipping. And I took a big chance, and this is you can think that I'm stupid for doing this, and that's fine, because I am. The seller had a 50%.
Whoa. Okay. You took a big gamble, dude. Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, this is by far the cheapest. And knowing, I was like, well, eBay will make sure I get a refund if I don't get the book.
That's also true. Yes.
So I was like, I'm fine with that. It was my payday splurge, basically. I was like, I just got paid. I'm going to go ahead and like, I'll put out for that. And then like a week passes and there's nothing. Yeah, no, like it was, I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, he only has 2 ratings, one of them positive, one of them negative. And I was like,
50,
shit
50.
happens sometimes. I don't know. I'm going to take, it's a coin flip. Let's see what happens.
Right,
Obviously,
right.
I'm telling the story this way because it didn't work out for me. But the part that was really annoying, aside from Toast trying to attack all the cords beneath my feet right now, the part that was really annoying was, so 5 days, 7 days goes by and there's nothing. And I wind up getting I go on there and I'm like, okay, I'm canceling it. Like, so I go cancel because nothing had happened. But they need the guy to like actually cancel it. So eBay was like, maybe they won't be able to. We'll see. And I was like, eBay, you son of a bitch. And so I go to cancel it and it's just pending. And it's like, if it doesn't get canceled by this date, then we will just say it's not able to be canceled. And so that date comes and I'm like, on that day, I think the day was like the 7th or the 9th or something. And I'm waiting for that day in anticipation so that I can get my money back. And on the day, I get a notification in the morning, like first thing in the morning, and it was like unable to be canceled.
Oh God.
And I looked, and it's not because the guy said no, it's just because immediately when it hit that date and it wasn't canceled, they said unable. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna open like a complaint or whatever. And so I tried to reach out to the guy and it would not let me. It wouldn't let me try to contact him at all.
Wow.
I like every time I put like contact seller, it would throw me back to the eBay homepage. And I tried so many times, contact, and it kept doing that. So I just marked it as like, item has not arrived. And then eBay was like, well, the seller has until this date, like, please wait until this date to see if it arrives. And that date was like the 11th. So I was like, okay, I'll wait a couple more days. The 11th comes and they send me an email that says like, the item hasn't arrived. Like, please, we're going to look into it essentially. So I like filled out the eBay, like, I have an issue thing. eBay, there's a problem. And so I was like, no communication from the seller. They didn't ship it. It's been a week, that blah, 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 blah. I the whole gamut. I gave the whole rundown on the thing. And I was like, well, I guess I'll wait longer now and see what happens and when I'm going to get my refund. And then immediately, like this time, like immediately I got the message saying like, your order's been refunded. Your funds are available. I was like, thank you. So I had to wait. And like the whole time, this was just the annoying part. Like, but the part that was making me kind of sweat bullets was in the meantime, because I'm impatient, I bought another copy. And it was because I was looking and I was like, if this one doesn't work out, what can I find? And there was a seller who had not just Animal Man, but Aquaman by Jeff Johns, which I knew you would be excited about. I still need to replace the other omnibus, the Peter David omnibus, with time. So they were selling both of these in one lot for $100, and I was like, Carly was like, "That's girl math," because I was like, "That's like $50 an omnibus." I'm
Hell yeah.
I was like, I'm saving money to what I did on the first one. I spent like $80 for one. She's like, that's girl math. Like, it's collector math. This is it's collector math. So nice. I watched the item, and then like a few minutes later, they sent me like $10 off, and I was like, $90.
Whoa.
Gee, you got me there. So I went ahead and I just bought it on site. when I was still waiting for my first order to be canceled. So I was sitting there sweating because I was like, oh my God, like, what if this guy actually like comes out of a coma or something? And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then he has to like, and then he sends me the, like, I just shipped it. And I'm like, no. And then I have 2 copies of Animal Man. But luckily that wasn't what happened. And I did get my refund, and I did get obviously I got my copies of both Animal Man and Aquaman. And that's my story.
Wow.
Also, so you could say eBay was your table for a minute.
Yeah, it was I learned my lesson because I was like, I've had problems with things on eBay before, and I've always gotten like my money back. I've always gotten money back no matter what. Like, it's always come out on top.
Yeah.
But it was just, I guess, the nature of this one where like
yeah, totally.
there was no communication and stuff, and so it just took a lot longer. I knew that they would get me back. It just took way longer than I expected. So I'm not gonna do that in the future because I don't want to wait a week on a refund that I may or may not that is like contingent on the seller actually not popping up out of nowhere and giving me the book.
Right.
Yes. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna come back in like a month with a story of like, so I was trying to get Doom Patrol, and then
part 2 of this. Yeah. Here's the cover for the manga. My apologies, it was not the first one. It's the latest volume in Japan. Volume 9 has the obi with the weekend advertisement, which I thought was pretty cool, and it has a quote from him recommending the book, which I thought was pretty sick. So there you go. So if you're a collector, a hardcore fan of the series, you might want to grab this volume just for the rarity of it, I guess, or the oddity of it.
It's what's funny. I might be completely wrong. Maybe he does, but I don't. I want to assume that he doesn't read kanji, like he can't read Japanese. So him being a massive fan of it, he very likely was reading the pirated versions. And
Probably, yeah.
The English publisher has been posting all kinds of stuff about it as well. Just I think that was silly. Chuckle worthy.
The other thing I wanted to mention, speaking of manga covers, Kana Publishing in France, unfortunately, is doing Basara, which I thought was pretty cool. And I like the designs of the dust jackets or the trade dress or whatever the hell you want to call it. I wanted to show that off on this show, which looks pretty cool. Here's volume 1 and volume 2 right there. So unfortunately, we will not be getting these anytime soon. But
maybe Kana US can strong arm the license from Viz, and they just do
Viz
that.
would be like, you know what? I need the extra cash right now, so like I'll lend it to you, like the MCU style, like Sony with Spider-Man or something. So shout out. We got some new licenses coming out from Titan. This segment is brought to you by Comey Can't Communicate. Let me zoom in a little bit. Sorry about that. 3 books in particular they revealed on Wednesday. The first one here is Huck, the Air Pirate and the Princess of Steam. This is by the same creator as Candy and Cigarettes, which I know you collected, right?
Yes. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Or are collecting. Did that finish? I don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah, I didn't finish reading it. I have a few volumes left to read, but it did wrap up some time ago.
The art looks really good. I'm excited for this. There's some like animal friends, some anthropomorphic shenanigans. So I want to check it out. And I love me a good steampunk comic. So hell yeah. Sign me up. I guess I should. Well, no, we're already running late. You can read the description here if you want. They also announced the Regalia of the Underdog. This is, I wrote on my Discord to let people know that this is from an assistant on My Hero Academia. So when I looked at the art, it clearly reminded me of the macadamia. So there you go. And then the other one is from a Taiwanese creator. This is Baby Volume 1 as well. So this one looks pretty interesting. Mecha, alien horror, and dystopian intrigue. So there you go. If you're into that, you might want to get it. This one comes out September. The other two come out in November and September as well. Okay, cool.
I'm definitely going to check out all of them. I think I'm still picking up everything that Titan puts out. So
you want a complete set?
I will. But I'm probably most excited about the bottom one about Baby. That one looks like a lot of fun.
Parasitic. Wait a minute. Baby propels readers into a pulse-pounding post-apocalyptic world where parasitic aliens warp humans into monstrous machines, and every clash threatens what's left of civilization. Okay. Interesting. The last bit of news here. This came out. Sorry. I don't know if you saw this manga. It got published on Manga Plus. It is called Blobtopia, not to be confused with Zootopia.
Not to be confused with Pokopia.
Or Pokopia. There we go. I got Pokopia over here. Look. Right there. Pokopia.
I got Pokemon.
You got the other Pokemon. We'll talk about Pokemon in a minute. Blobtopia is written and drawn by Jun. There it is. Jun Kirarazaka. I hope I pronounced that correctly. There's only one chapter out, and it came out today. I read it because I found the picture funny, and I like when a manga has purple hues. And I guess I'm a simple weeb like that. So I'm like, this looks up my alley. Okay, and it kind of looks like Ditto. You know, I see what they're going for. The author probably saw the first trailer for Pokopia and said, you know what? What if I make a Ditto manga? But it's not Ditto for copyright reasons. This one is essentially, in a nutshell, about this warrior who isn't able to finish off the Demon King. So it's the standard trope of the fantasy manga where they go fight off the Demon Lord, and the hero comes out victorious. Obviously, this is all based off of JRPGs like Dragon Quest, etc. So he fails in the funniest way possible. He has the enemy pinned down with his holy sword, and he's pointing the sword at him. And at that moment, his teammates, which are barely hanging on to dear life, they're like, let's do it. Do the killing blow. Let's end this. Let's go home, blah, blah, blah. And he can't. He literally cannot, because he has a leg cramp, and he's not able to swing the sword to stab the guy. And so the Demon Lord takes this opportunity to cast a spell where he disintegrates into billions of particles of slime particles. And I guess it's a curse across the land where everyone has these slime blobs on top of them, and the main protagonist is forever cursed as the generator of these blobs, if that makes sense. So we fast forward into modern times for them. It's very similar to our world, like trains and cell phones, social media and stuff, but it's a fantasy town with magic. And our boy here is scared to go out because everyone's angry, upset, and very displeased with the hero for failing to stop the Demon Lord. And now, as a result, everyone's cursed with blobs on top of their heads. And that's sort of where the story goes. You can see here how the world is. According to this version, it's a must-read new series, folks. So if you want to read it, you got to get on it. There's a lot of blobs here in Blobtopia. Everyone's got blobs on top of their heads. There we go. Yeah. So you can see some of the art. Nothing too fancy, but it's silly enough where I'm invested and I want to see what happens with the second chapter, where the story goes. And I appreciate the fact that the main protagonist is not a fit hero. He let himself go. It's been 3 years. He blew all his cash hiding and eating it in consuming food, and now he's broke. So he has to find a job to make more money. And I believe, the holy sword is anthropomorphic and is able to transform into a girl that is trying to help him with the job situation. So you can take a look here. This is what I meant earlier when he had the demon lord pinned. So you can see he's sort of like an Akira Toriyama design JRPG character, but now he looks more like a human Ditto from Pocopia. Yeah, it's silly, it's goofy. I like that it flips the whole thing about demon lords and fantasy heroes on its head and does something different with it. So I will check out chapter 2 whenever that comes out next week. Blobtopia. There it is, folks.
I like the colored art. I'm really sorry, but I watched the last 2 Jurassic Park movies, and I know that you're a big fan of the Jurassic Park series. So
you hadn't seen them?
No, I had not.
Okay, those are 2 of the worst Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. Okay,
Dude, I am sorry that I just remembered that I wanted to have this conversation.
before you go, the Dominion or whatever it's called, that's my least favorite. And at least with Fallen Kingdom, I love the beginning, and I am a huge fan of the Indoraptor. That said, go for it.
Dominion was the worst, stupidest plot.
It's the worst movie out of the.
Like, I started watching it because I think they just added both of them on Netflix, and I needed something like in the background while working. I was like, oh, I didn't watch the last 2. And I am like a moth to flame with a franchise that has gone on way too long. That is just, I love it because I love having these just terrible reactions to these movies where I'm like, what happened to you? And then like talking about it is just fun. But like, why did they think the plot was a good idea for that movie to have bioengineered like prehistoric locust attacking crops?
Right. Yeah.
And there's this agenda that it was all InGen still, right?
It was a second company. I'm forgetting the name, but it is related somewhat.
The whole thing is like, we're gonna have these things attack everyone's crops but ours. And that's the whole plot. And they're like investigating it, and the part that got me the most was they brought back Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and fucking Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
They brought the Trinity back to talk about locust eating the
locust and environmental change.
I was like, are you kidding me? Like, no wonder I never watched this movie. It's so bad. And I don't remember, honestly, a single action sequence from that movie. It's like in one ear out the other. I was like, this plot sucks. Bye. Like, I do not remember anything in that movie.
I appreciated that at least the main bad guy turned out to be the dude from the first movie. Obviously, it's not the same actor because the real actor is a Predator. And but I like the fact that it went back to the original plot, which was cool. And my boys, the Dilophosaurus, got a moment to shine in one of my favorite scenes in the whole sequel trilogy. and the final fight with the big ass dinosaur with the long claws, and then the T-Rex shows up. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, the when the claws, because he like stabbed through someone like Wolverine style, didn't he?
Yes, that
Yeah, I do
adamantium.
remember that. That was probably, now that you remind me of it, that's probably the only scene where I was like, nice. To the whole,
I like seeing Blue again because I love that dinosaur. So,
but the whole, like, by the time that movie ended, I was like, what the fuck?
did they show in Netflix on Netflix the extended cut where it has the prologue and you see the different dinosaurs fighting back in the day?
I don't think so.
No,
No,
that
I don't.
makes no sense because they added like dinosaurs from the Triassic versus like Jurassic period
Yeah.
versus the other. I'm like, this makes no sense. What is happening? It's a free for all. Like I'm playing Smash Bros. Melee. And then they added some extra scenes, which whatever.
It was bad, dude. Like I was like, no wonder after this one they did like kind of a reboot.
Yes.
Not really like a relaunch for the franchise.
Right.
Because then the next one has nobody, right? Like nobody from the previous movies.
Yeah, no, nobody. They do references, but that's it.
And I like Gareth Edwards is the director of that one. So I remember when they first announced it, I was like, sick. I was like, I can get behind that.
I love the new one. I thought it was great. I've seen it twice now. Once when it came out, and now on the Blu-ray. I really enjoyed it. I think it's fantastic. Better than most of the sequels for Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's not okay. All I'm gonna say, I don't want to bring you down.
Yeah,
it is way better than Dominion.
No,
Rebirth.
yeah, absolutely. If I had to rank the series, here's my ranking: Jurassic Park 1, Lost World. A little bit controversial, Lost World. Then would be this is my list. So if you get upset, I don't care. The third one would be I really enjoyed Jurassic World, the first one. Then Jurassic Park 3. No, wait a minute. Jurassic World, then the new one, Rebirth, JP3, and then Fallen Kingdom, and then Dominion at the bottom. That'd be my ranking.
My big problem, and I was texting Carly while watching it because she had to go out of town for work. So I was texting, and I was like, "There's this random family that showed up. Like, why are they fishing so close to Dinosaur Island?"
Well, people are dumb. So
yeah, I was like, this is that they're dumb. Like, they're fishing in very dangerous area, and then they spend the next 30 minutes like focusing on the whole kerfuffle with them.
Yeah.
And then when they get to the island, that family kind of disappeared for a minute. Mm-hmm. And I thought that they were just gone from the plot, which fine. I would have been honestly happy with it, but B, it made me pissed off that the last 30 minutes were wasted with them. I was like, why did we just spend 30 minutes with this family that I don't give a fuck about? And then they came back, and I was like, damn it, we're spending the whole movie with this family I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And I continued to not care about them throughout the entire movie, especially like the little girl getting in trouble. I was like, dude, I don't care. Get out of here.
They did finally bring to life the river raft scene from the original book, which I thought was pretty cool. I was happy to see that finally in some shape or form.
I liked, though, I did like the big mutant looking like xenomorph ass dinosaur.
D-Rex, it's called.
D-Rex, yeah. I liked that. I really, that was the best idea, I think, in the whole movie, was genetic engineering and like altering things and like making these weird hybrid creatures, because that's to me like believable that people would do that with the technology that they had. It made for a really good like final battle, if you will. Like the final monster that they fight is this big ass. Uh, I thought about it because I don't know if you noticed when I flashed my Switch on the screen.
Oh, you got the yay! It recently got delisted, by the way, so people get a copy, a physical copy, if you can.
Yeah, I have it physically.
Oh.
But yeah, I did like that. The plot I think was way more solid than Locust, because it's like they're trying to create something a drug basically for heart disease with pulling DNA from certain dinosaurs, and that is not like the best thing in the world, but it definitely beats out
It's better
freaking
than the Locust.
Locust.
Yes.
I was like, okay, like from the beginning, I was like, all right, this is better. But it was still like it wasn't great. I didn't think it was the best thing ever. The last like 20 minutes of it really did a lot for me towards like saving it from being a complete trash fire. But I would have to rewatch the franchise to do a fair assessment with what my, because it's been a long time since I've watched any of them except for the first one and those last two that I just watched.
Yeah. I also supposedly this year we're gonna get the game, the what is it called? Aftermath, I think it's called, where it's this scientist that gets left behind, Isla Nublar, in the first movie. When everyone leaves at the end of the film, she gets stuck behind and has to survive for, I don't know if it's going to be a day or two or something. So it's survival horror, think like Alien and stuff like that. I'm really excited for that game. So I hope it comes out this year.
Anyway, that was my quick aside. I had to talk about with you.
Yes. Even though they're bad movies, I will still watch them and I get entertainment out of them. I love the franchise so much that I'm like, it's bad, but I don't mind. I like seeing the dinosaurs and stuff. So but speaking of Jurassic Park, segue here. One final note. We're done with the show, folks, but
done forever.
They revealed this thing from Limited Run. I know some people hate Limited. That's okay. But we finally have the full info on the Marvel Maximum Collector's Edition, and I am so excited for this. I am a little annoyed that it's not technically 13 games as advertised.
Was it
yes
different
and no.
versions of the same games?
Exactly. It's the different versions. I'm like, you son of a... Okay, so...
That's what I said. Remember, like, when they first announced it, I was like, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it's probably going to be just different versions of the same games.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I didn't want you to be right. I'm like, no, it's going to be like 13 unique titles. I should have known. So we're getting...
I didn't want to be right either, to be fair.
I mean, the selection's good.
Yeah.
But we have some gems that are missing. We have X-Men the Arcade, which is fantastic. This is the very first time, aside from Arcade 1-Up, that this will be available physically for like a collected edition. The previous one was on the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation 3 store, and that got delisted and disappeared, so now nobody can get it. So for this alone, it's huge and worth getting. This is not a numbered release, so everybody, you'll be able to find it other places, I think. The next one is Captain America and the Avengers, which you're getting the arcade version, which I think is the best one, the Mega Drive, and the 8-bit, which should be if it's 8-bit, it's Nintendo, or the NES. Or the mobile, I guess.
I had that one on Sega Genesis back in the day.
Yeah.
And now I have it on the Arcade 1-Up, so.
Yeah. And then one of my all-time favorite Super Nintendo games, or Genesis games, whatever, Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage, So we're getting both versions, the Super Nintendo and the Genesis.
I'm very excited about those two, the Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety, probably the most out of everything on that set.
Based on the crossover, you can switch between the Super Nintendo, which had the richer colors, and the Genesis, which had the gritty vibe. That tended to happen in the 90s. The Super Nintendo copy, if it was a game on both platforms, the Nintendo version was a little bit lighter. The Sega one was had the blood and a little bit more mature rating. Then the sequel, which is Separation Anxiety, both on the Super and Mega version. Mega as in Mega Drive or Genesis. Then we have Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge. We have the Super Nintendo version, the Sega Genesis version, the Game Gear version, and the portable one, which would be Game Boy. So do we need 4 versions of Arcade's Revenge? Absolutely not, but we're getting them anyways. And then Silver Surfer, which is not a good game, but for the sake of having all the Marvel stuff in here, I'm fine with them including it. But we're missing the other X-Men games. We're missing the Wolverine. We're missing the Punisher. Spider-Man. There was a Spider-Man beat 'em up.
There's a Spider-Man animated series game that I had on the Genesis that I played the shit out of.
Yeah.
I want to say for the Silver Surfer, it has one of the best like game over screens, period. I love it.
You put that game over screen. Yeah, so we would see it. Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah. This is I mean, pretty classic. And here's the cover. Let me highlight the image here.
Which if you ever played that Silver Surfer game, you've seen that image a million times.
Multiple times, yeah.
It's so hard.
6 legendary titles together for the first time. This is I'm assuming this is using the Carbon engine of some sort, so that's pretty badass. That allowed Limited Run to be able to play some of these arcade titles in PS1 and stuff, to be able to port them to the modern systems. So that's pretty badass. So the 6 games, and it includes a sticker sheet. That's always fun, and booklet. And the cool thing is it's a foil cover, which matches the 90s vibe. And it's coming out on all platforms. So Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Switch. I'll definitely be getting it for one of these consoles, probably the Switch.
Yeah, this is what the Switch was made for.
And I like the cover. They did a good job here. It has all the key players.
Yeah, this is a must buy for me.
It's pretty cool to see Carnage next to Magneto like that. But it makes sense. Those are the 2 big games that people want to play, Maximum Carnage and the X-Men Arcade.
Well, I guess now I can get rid of my 1-up X-Men Arcade.
I mean, I would still keep, you can still keep it, you know.
No, I don't play it that much. It's more of a decorative thing.
Right.
It'll be even better in my, like, the thing that I've been building that I showed you last week.
Right. Yeah, that would look great over there. I'll get that for the PlayStation 5. Let's go. I'm waiting for the Marvel Cosmic Invasion physical release. That has 2 releases, or 2 physical editions. Let me show that real quick, since we're on the video game hype here. Cosmic Invasion is a lot of fun. If you have not played it, I highly recommend it. You're gonna love it. If you're a fan of Marvel games, if you're a fan of the stuff that we just talked about, this is an homage to it, and it does so splendidly. It plays great. I need to finish, like, I still have like 2 levels left to beat. But it's a lot of fun to mix and match. I really enjoy using Nova and Nova, She-Hulk, Wolverine's a lot of fun, and somebody else. Rocket was pretty fun too. So yeah. Oh no, not Rocket. Black Panther. He's pretty badass too. Cosmic Invasion Physical Edition. So there are a bunch of editions to get. Let me get this one here. In 1 second. Oh, what are you doing? No. Oh, okay. Okay, so this physical edition comes out next month. This is the deluxe edition, which you get the slipcover, you get the sticker sheet, premium art cards, the steelbook, and a poster. I love that poster. That's pretty badass with all the characters there. But there's another version, which I believe, let me see if I can find it on Twitter, because it's from a publisher that I had never heard of before in my life. Rocket something? Hold on. Hold on. .mu, right? .mu. I think they tweeted about it. No, yeah, there it is. Rocket Games. Found it. Have you seen this collection? This edition? This is the Rocket Cosmic Collector's Edition. It comes with a box that stylized as a retro arcade. You get the physical edition of the game, complete set of 15 moveset cards for every character. That's pretty dope. Certificate of authenticity. You get a glow-in-the-dark styled replica of the SNES, of an SNES cartridge, as if it came out in that era. You get another poster. This one is illustrated by Mark Bagley. And you get a sick-ass statue of Rocket Raccoon and Nova, Richard Rider, fighting Annihilus. I love this, but it's like $200 some, which I do not have money for to spend on something like this. So if it was maybe like 120, something like that, I'd be like, sure, I could swing it. But 200 plus shipping, plus tax, plus whatever, no, I'm good. You can keep your Cosmic Invasion. It says here it's a 12-inch statue. Custom made, blah 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 blah. I love it. Annihilus is one of my favorite Marvel villains. I love all the cosmic stuff. Cosmic Vision probably a double dib. I'm not gonna get the physical right away, but I will grab it eventually. It's worthy to own physically. I just wasn't patient and wanted to play it, so I grabbed the game from the eShop. And you can play online with people, and similar to how they did with Shredder's Revenge for TMNT, where you can play the story by yourself. You can log in at any time online and join other parties as they fight or they try and beat the main story of the game. A lot of fun. I do recommend it. Shout out. Let's see. Anything else that I'm missing here? Video game related. I think we're good. Oh, I made a list of things I wanted to see for Marvel games in a maximum collection. I guess they can try and do a second one. Just randomly naming some things. Spider-Man the video game from 1991. Yes, please give me that one. That was a Sega and arcade title. The Wolverine NES game. The Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six. That was on NES and Game Gear. X-Men. Which X-Men? X-Men for the Sega Genesis. I still have my copy of it. It's not the best Marvel game, but I enjoyed playing it. The Punisher for arcades and Genesis was a classic from Capcom, but we're not going to get any Capcom games here because, we had the collection released previously. And I know it would not sell well, but I would love to see the PS1 era collected. Spider-Man PS1, the Hulk game that was on Sega Genesis, I think. There was X-Men Mutant Apocalypse on Super Nintendo. Wolverine Adamantium Rage, that was on Genesis. There was the really crappy what was it? The Fantastic Four had a beat 'em up style game from Acclaim. That game is just trash. But would I get it in a physical thing like retro collection? Hell yeah, of course. Of course, the Marvel vs. Capcom games have already been released with Capcom. But yeah, the PS1 era and onwards, I would love to see. Specifically the Neversoft Spider-Man games. I would love to play them again. Did you see the Junji Ito audio vinyl? I think it's on Kickstarter. I read about it, but I did not click on it. Is it worth checking out? Do you know about this, Riley?
What the
Junji Ito audio vinyl.
I have the vinyl of the Uzumaki soundtrack.
Ah, yeah, you do. Did you see that they're making a live action Samurai Champloo?
Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes.
My early prediction is that it's not going to work. It's going to be a Cowboy Bebop thing all over again.
Yeah.
Just don't. I mean, I'm not interested in it. I'm good with the anime and my Blu-rays, but that's cool. I'm not gonna protest and be like, "Don't make it." Yeah, sure, go for it. May not be for me, but I'm not gonna be opposed to it. It doesn't ruin anything for me. I hate when people say, "This ruined my childhood." How? Did it go back in time and punch you in the face? What happened? It did not. It's not ruining anything. It's ruining the moment now. But to say like it ruined my childhood, why? Shut up. I hate when people say that.
What does something bad like make you no longer enjoy the thing that you already liked?
Right. And then you should question if you really enjoyed it in the first place.
Yeah.
Release
It's just
for the US. Hell yeah. I can't find the audio vinyl, but I'll look it up later. But thank you for reminding me of that. I think that's it. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor, In Stock Trades, where you can find all the One Piece manga that you could think of and more. You get your Omnis, trade paperback, hardcovers, manga, box sets, trades, box sets. You get treasury editions, a whole bunch of other stuff, absolutes, whatever. You name it. In the world of collected editions, you go to In Stock Trades and find all the books you need. You get free shipping in the US at $50 or more in your orders, and there's a loyalty discount which adds an extra 2% off to your book orders when you make them on a weekly basis. That and more when you visit instocktrades.com. Shout out to our sponsor. We love them, and I know you do as well. What you got cooking up, Riley, on your end?
I actually got two things already in progress. I filmed a video. My first haul video in general in a very long time.
Heck yeah.
My first comic book haul video in an even longer amount of time.
Hecker yeah. Volume 2.
And it was a video about the help that I've received from the community since the burglary happened. And basically like showing and each book that someone gave or sent to me, giving thanks to those people individually, talking about the books individually, and like why I'm excited to have them back in my collection and stuff. So so I have that filmed. I need to edit it, and I'm glad that I didn't put it out yet, because I have like a really weird segue into like mentioning channel sponsor Walt's Comic Shop, and then I emailed with Christian, the owner of Walt's, after I had already filmed it, and he said that they're doing a upcoming promotion where they're, I think he said that it's supposed to be like like enticing people to cross over from, you know, one side to the other, like manga and comics. And I was like, I love that. So I'm gonna film a new like ad spot to talk about that in the video, and then I'll edit it and put it out. And then also, of course, the March buyer's guide. I've been working on that.
Hell yeah.
So it's cool because I do it in my comic library, which is on the other side of the house. So I'm sitting in front of a wall of books and just, you know, pulling the ones off that people sent me so I can talk about it. And it's kind of awkward because it's like I'm talking about, I got a bunch of stuff stolen from me, boo-hoo. But then I also still have a wall of books behind me. And it's like, you know,
Nah, don't worry about it.
it's what it is.
You do you be happy about it. People want to, they're still going to complain, even if you don't mention it, even if you do mention it. So you can't do anything about it.
You know, like I've had every type of like comment. I've had positive, negative, whatever. Like I've had people being jerks on my content that I like, the video I released talking about the whole situation. And so I anticipate someone like saying something about like, why are you trying to get stuff like free books or whatever from people? Why are you asking for a handout when you have so much stuff already? And it's like, I have a ton of stuff because I've been collecting these things for so long. I'm not like, you know, I'm not wiping my tears with $100 bills or anything. Like the people are, and I'm not trying to ask people for help. Like people are being kind and generous about things and sending things my way. So, but I'm trying to rebuild what was lost. And it's like with everything that I still have, I like, it was twice as much previously as far as the comics go. This stuff is all like as it is. It's still the same. But anyway, so I'm hoping to get those 2 videos up soon, and I'll have the details about the I don't know if anyone's watching us here from the EU, but Waltz is in the EU, so I'll have the details of that upcoming sale in my my video. And I also just I talked with Julia over at Titan. I'm gonna be on their blog tour for Aoashi, so I'll get a copy of that one and put a video out a little bit before the release date.
Nice. Heck yeah. I just noticed we have a bunch of side characters here. I got Toothless. We got Big Challenges. The cats from Red Cut Ramen. Samba de Amigo. I have a whole squad here. And Godzilla as well.
That's your Pokemon team.
That's my team right there. You got Godzilla, Homeboy. I'm forgetting the cat's name. Sorry. We got a dragon that needs training, and of course the goat. Big Challenges. Their opponent is the table. So there you go. That's it. By the way, the Maximum Collection comes out March 27th. The digital version. The physical will be later, and I assume by summer. That's it. Thank you, everybody. I got stuff happening, but I don't care. I'm not gonna plug it. No, I'm out. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow. I swear, if Jess cancels, I'm gonna be so upset because every damn time I promote the show, something happens. But I'm gonna promote it because that's my duty. Yes, I said duty. But Omnibros will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll be back on Monday. And on Monday, I'm going to review some books that I've been trying to read this week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you to the live chat. Thank you to everyone watching later. Appreciate it. Hit the like button, all that fun stuff. You know what to do. Have a good night. God bless. Have a great rest of your week. Wonderful weekend. All that fun stuff. Thank you, Kane. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, James, as always. One final comment, which made me laugh. Samurai Champloo had a PS2 game released in the US. It was terrible. Release it again. Yes, absolutely. If they do another version of it, I will get it.
I wanted it very badly. I'll put it right next to my Loop on the Third PS2 game.
Yes, and they did a Cowboy Bebop one too in Japan. Right? I'm not crazy. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yes.
I need to check on my sanity. Bebop video game. Bebop video game.
I'm pretty sure.
Bebop had a PlayStation 1 game. The game was never released out of Japan for PlayStation 1. Yeah, for PlayStation 1. Okay, cool. I'm not crazy. No, wait a minute. There was a PlayStation 2 version. Anyways, whatever. Doesn't matter. I know Ghost in the Shell had some. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate it. God bless. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you on the next stream. Let's close this out with this screen right here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.